Hey guys, it's Jeff from Fresh Your Luck, and today I'm really excited because not only are we making a fabulous, fantastic dish that has been so requested by specific people in my life, but I'm also using my Ultra for the very first time to cook it. So I'm super excited. So the dish we're cooking today, what is it? Well, it originated in Spain, and it's become basically an international favorite. It's a dish that's based off of rice, but also has a bunch of proteins in there, some veggies. I mean, if you don't know by now, you're never gonna. It's called the paella, guys. So let's go right to that beautiful Instant Pot Ultra and get started on some magnificent paella.
Let's start off with some prep by taking one large Spanish onion, chopped up and placed in a bowl, one green bell pepper and one red bell pepper, also diced up and laid on top of our chopped onions and then set aside. We're gonna take one lemon, freshly zested, about a pound of boneless, skinless chicken thighs, cut into strips about yay big, and roughly a pound of chorizo, sliced up like so, and added on top of our chicken. So it's time to christen this beautiful Instant Pot Ultra. I'm gonna start by going on the saute setting, so push in for that, and it doesn't matter what the time is, I want it to cook on the high setting. So now that we have those features ready and set, we're gonna hit start. Now I'm gonna add a quarter of a cup of vegetable oil, and 2 tablespoons or a quarter of a stick of salted butter. And one thing to note on the Ultra, as that's preheating, you see it says preheating, it shows the progress, and it adds on a little dot as it gets closer to the hot base, so you can tell how long you have left. And now that we're all preheated, now we're going to add our peppers and onions. And stir it around, and we're going to cook it for a few minutes just until we get some translucency and softness, about 2 minutes. Now that our onions and peppers are looking good after a few minutes, we're going to add our chorizo and chicken to the mix and cook that until, the chicken's got a nice white color, about another couple minutes. And while that's cooking in there, we're going to add a heaping tablespoon of crushed or minced garlic. And give that all a nice stir. Now let's add our lemon zest and give it a final little stir. It looks and smells great already. Okay, now we're going to add a half a cup of white wine. Any white wine will do as long as it's dry. You can use cooking wine, you can use regular, whichever you prefer. And 3½ cups of chicken broth. I use 3½ cups of water mixed with a tablespoon of chicken better than bouillon. I'm also going to add one 14.5 ounce can of stewed tomatoes, which I've drained previously. Don't leave liquid in there, drain them. A generous teaspoon of turmeric.
Now this next ingredient is sort of critical to making a proper paella. It gives it that specific flavor that we all know and love with paella. What am I talking about? Well, I'm just mad about saffron. It's called saffron, and it comes typically in small little amounts like this. This one costs $5 at my local supermarket, which isn't a very large supermarket living in Queens, and they have it. But this stuff goes a really long way. We're just gonna use a few strands of it, and it's really worth having some saffron in your kitchen. It's relatively easy to find. It's a little pricier than most spices, but it'll last you, and it's really, really, really gonna make that paella a true paella.
So I'm gonna put about this much in there. That's it, not a whole lot. And then our rice. I'm using 2 cups of a Valencia rice, or any short grain rice will do, but make sure it's short grain. Valencia is really best for paella, as it says on the box. And then give everything a final good mix together. And now we're ready to put our lid on top of our pot. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to pressure cook on the Ultra series, which is manual on the Duo series. Select that by pressing our dial in. And now that the time bracket's flashing, we're going to set this for 8 minutes. And we want it on high pressure. I'm going to keep the delay off. I'm going to keep it on keep warm when we're done. So now all I have to do is hit start. And now that our pin just went up after a few moments, it switched from on to the timer countdown, which means it's ready to go, and then it went from preheating to cooking. And you can see as the time is cooking down, the cooking progress grid here advances, and now we're finished. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit this little button here on the Ultra lid to do a quick release and press it all the way down. And our pin just dropped. I'm gonna open the lid. And looking good. We're not finished yet. We're gonna now add our seafood, so it's okay if we have a little bit of extra liquid here. So now that the lid is off, let's give everything a good old-fashioned stir. Yeah, just like this. Make sure we really get the rice mixed in with all of our chicken, our tomatoes, our sausage, and the bottom won't be scorched at all. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a pound of frozen scallops. This is how mine came, just like that, and lay that on top in a little disc there. And a pound of raw, uncooked shrimp, and I'm using it with the tail on and the skin on, because I like to peel with my paella, but you can use it without the skin already on the shrimp. You can have them peeled.
And since in our final step we're going to be cooking our seafood on the saute function, we're not going to put it back to pressure. It doesn't matter if you use fresh seafood or raw seafood. It doesn't make any difference there. If you want the skin off the shrimp ahead of time, buy shrimp that has no skin on it. Just make sure that it's raw. And again, if it's raw, it's going to cook a little quicker, and if it's frozen, it's going to take a little longer. But again, very, very minimal differences between the two, and we're going to be cooking it on saute. So just keep your eye on it. Perfect.
And now that's all set, we're gonna go down to our saute function here, and we're just gonna hit start.
And as we mix it up, let's make sure we really submerge our shrimp and scallops into the rice and broth mixture. Again, if you have frozen shrimp, it's going to take slightly longer than if you had fresh shrimp, but make sure it's raw. And as it continues to cook and simmer, it's going to thicken as the rice absorbs the broth.
Keep stirring around, making sure that the rice doesn't stick to the bottom at this point. It's thickening up nice and good, and it's going to be just fantastic. This will take about 5 minutes or so, so just keep an eye on it. I was going to add a few sprinklings of the black ground pepper.
Stir it around a little bit. And then
we're going to add in about a cup of frozen peas and just stir those in as well. And that's the finishing touch, guys. And now let's transfer this beautiful paella into a beautiful cast iron skillet, which I feel like is best in terms of presenting a paella. But if you don't have one, don't worry about it. You can absolutely put it just in a serving bowl.
And we're going to sprinkle on some dried parsley flakes for garnish. And then as an optional step, we're going to turn our broiler on our oven. And then we're going to pop this beautiful skillet full of paella right into it for about a minute. Take it out. And then this guy is ready to serve. Doesn't that look absolutely fantastic? Let's try some of it out.
Oh, I'm really excited. First of all. Oh, wow. That rice is cooked to perfection. And I like that this paella has a little bit of creaminess to it. It's not just super dry rice. I like that it has like a little bit of a creamier consistency, but the rice is cooked perfectly. And here's some of this beautiful, here's some chorizo. It gives it a nice, meaty, smoky flavor. One of our adorable scallops paired with some chicken. The scallops are perfect. The chicken is so tender. I love chicken thighs, especially for a paella. It works wonderfully. And now some of our shrimp, which I have to peel and eat because that's the style I did. Look at how easily it just comes right off. And that shrimp is cooked absolutely perfectly. You know, I feel like I'm in Barcelona right now, looking at beautiful architecture and eating beautiful food. What a knockout dish, guys. This also makes a ton. You're gonna have a lot of food here for a bunch of people to dig into. And it's this wonderful, creamy, flavorful paella, and it's just top-notch magnificent. Guys, if you enjoy these videos and you like these recipes and you want a whole other plethora of videos and recipes, go to pressureluckcooking.com. I have tons of organized recipes there. 2 usually come out a week. It's just endless supply and it's gonna keep growing. So please visit the site, pressureluckcooking.com. I also have Facebook. Go to facebook.com/pressureluckcooking for even more content. I usually do 1 Facebook Live video a week. I'm having a free giveaway right now for one of these very Instant Pot Ultras. You can win one. Go to the page and see how you can enter. Guys, thank you so much for your support again, and I'm booking those tickets right now to Barcelona, Richard.